Hi, everyone, and welcome to Elevating Voices in Memoir and Fiction. I'm Joelle Tamraz, and my guest today is Kanchan Bhaskar. Kanchan is Indian American. She was born and brought up in Delhi and now lives in Chicago, Illinois. She holds a master's degree in social work from Delhi University and a postgraduate certificate in personnel management and industrial relations. She's had a long career in the corporate sector and held leadership roles in human resources where she mentored and coached employees of all levels. She is also now a certified advocate for domestic violence and victims in the state of Illinois and is a volunteer speaker, mentor, and coach for victims and survivors. Her debut memoir, Leaving: How I Set Myself Free from an Abusive Marriage, will be published on the 11th of April. Welcome, Kanchan, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Joel, for having me.
Memoir is a very vivid and moving account of your experiences in a violent marriage. One of the things that struck me the most is the couple of times where you met with lawyers and how little support they gave you. Can you tell us a bit about how the situation was then in the early 80s and what changes, if any, have occurred in the legal landscape in India around the topic of domestic violence?
While there is some progress in the law now, in 2005, they have come out with law for protecting women of domestic violence. And in 2013, they have a law against sexual harassment in the workplace. But I am not sure how the execution is happening or whether it is happening or not, only because India is a patriarch society. And unless the male belief system changes, where the men are supposed to be born with power and the women is there to serve, unless that mindset changes, I do not know how much execution can take place. So we need to work on the root cause simultaneously. When I was there in the early 1980s, the law did not protect me or my three children at the time. The society shamed me. And the attorneys, wherever I went, they did not give me any respite.
Mhm. Yes.
Mhm.
In writing this memoir, you went back several decades into some really difficult passages in your life. How did you cope going back into that time?
I went into some PTSD. It was very difficult to do that, to, bring back all the memories. And that is precisely the reason that I did not think about writing my story for the longest time. I got divorced way back, almost like 20 years back in 2003. And my children, they kept saying, Mom, you need to reach out, you need to write your story. But I could not bring myself to bring that torment and the hurt back.
Mhm.
But now, when I thought that this is my purpose in life now, that I needed to reach out to the people, I needed to share my story with them and the tools I used to escape, I think my objective changed.
Mhm.
And so there was some sadness when I was writing those scenes very vividly and in, great details. I used to be sad. I used to take some breaks, go to the wilderness and take a walk there, go in the nature and look at the flowers and, all of that to change my mind. But it was tough. I can say that at the end of it, when the book was finished, I think I've healed a lot.
Yeah.
So I went through both the sadness of it and the healing part is really very good.
Would you say that writing provided a different kind of healing from counseling or other types of healing? Can you tell us about that part?
I think the writing has provided me a different perspective than when I talked and, how they listened to me and I would cry a little bit and they would suggest different ways how to forget it or get over it. The writing gave me the solace because I was writing down everything once again.
Mm,
And I was looking at it as an outsider, mostly because otherwise I was not able to write it, And so from that perspective, I thought, okay, fine. This lady has gone through so much of trouble. But the good part is that she had hope and
mm,
she had the resilience and she had all these beliefs that she was able to transform herself. So it's a good story.
mm.
And that is what helped me heal.
You were married just over 20 years, and throughout your marriage, did you always believe he would change?
I did. I always thought that he will change. I will make him change. I had that confidence. I am a very positive person, in fact. And, my thought is that nothing is impossible and people can change. But he didn't. In good moments, I will always tell him that he needed to go for help to a mental health specialist or any medical help, go for counseling. But his answer was always that I needed help. And
Mm,
he was perfectly fine and normal person. So, I tried it. I kept trying for many years, but it didn't work out. So now my advice has changed, especially for people with domestic violence where the perpetrators are not ready to take any help, then we should not keep giving them chances.
yeah. Can you tell us a bit about the role faith played on your path and for your healing?
I think faith was always all through me in those years, before that, and after that. So without faith, I think I could not have taken even one step towards my escape and freedom. I had a strong faith in the universe. That universe is my friend. It is my benevolent. It is kind to me. And it is going to help me. I mean, the blueprint is there for all of us. We can't change that. But
Mhm.
then we can always ask for direction. And that is what I literally used to do. I used to go and sit in a open space and look up in the sky and say, please give me direction.
Mm,
And that is how I felt that I started to have gut feelings. The collaborators in the form of mentors and angels started to come to my life, giving me a direction as to how I should proceed. That made me more resilient. It gave me a mental endurance. And, I kept on walking on that path. Similarly, I had faith in higher power, that it is there. I am a blessed child of that higher power. And that higher power is going to look after me. War is there, but then peace always comes after that.
mm.
So I knew that after my struggle, there is going to come a time when everything will be all right.
Can you tell us a bit about the role of angels that you discuss in your memoir that crossed your path? One of the most memorable scenes for me is of you standing on your parents' balcony in Delhi in the night, quietly, getting a few moments to yourself, and then finding all of a sudden that you're not alone and someone else is there across the way and essentially strikes up a conversation with you.
Yes, Joel, I would say that angels had a great role in transforming me and getting me that freedom. Angels are just like you and me, common human beings. They don't have a different shape or a face or wings on their shoulders, but it is somebody around you whom you have not paid attention earlier, but then they suddenly come in your life and they're like mediators of the God. I mean, that's what I thought, that when I'm asking the universe and the higher power for direction, this is the mediator they are sending me.
Mm,
And I had that gut feeling that I should listen to this person and take that challenge they are giving me. So the angels were not sympathizing with me. They were not intensifying my self pity. They
mm,
were telling me that no, you need to do this. You are an educated girl. Become financially independent first. This man's role in your life was just to give you three beautiful children, and his role is over now. Why are you dwelling on him? Why are you hurt about that? It's over for you.
mm,
So, I took those challenges very seriously. and has started to work on them. So it is very important for us to understand that the angel has come into your life and given you the direction, so follow it.
Mm,
Sometimes angels come in your life and they go,
mm,
we don't even know what happened. But again, my gut feeling told me that this is the mediator who has been sent by God himself, and
mm.
I should be listening to them. And I followed them very seriously.
And if you want to find out more about these angels, you will need to read the memoir. It's a very interesting part of the story. So, Kanchan, what advice would you have for women and indeed men who find themselves in abusive personal relationships or situations of coercive control with an intimate partner?
The first thing I would like to say here is that be safe.
Mm,
So think about your safety, plan your safety. You should always have like one little pouch with all your documents and paperwork and a set of car keys in that, and keep it outside somewhere safe, so that if a situation occurs where it is a make or mar situation, you can run out and drive away. So be safe. My other advice would be speak up,
mm,
because what happens, we don't speak up, we are hiding behind the doors. Everything is happening within the walls, and nobody outside knows what's happening because you are not telling anybody, you're not sharing with anybody. So it's very important in this day and age of guns around and suicides happening. So just talk to people around you, your neighbors, your friends, your family should know, your colleagues, whosoever you can talk to, and just tell what's going on within those walls so that they can help you if need be. And the third thing I would say here is that accept that you are a victim.
mm,
Because most of the time we don't accept that we are victims. We think that it's a normal life. Then what, one slap, then what, one kick, and we think, okay, fine, I can live with it because I don't know where to go. I
mm,
don't have a place to go. I don't have finances to go. I have these children. How can I run away? But bear in mind that we are born to be free.
mm,
Nobody can keep us in shackles. It's our right to be free.
mm.
So plan your freedom. Accept you're a victim, visualize the freedom, and then be committed to it. Because if you're not committed and you keep coming back on your plan, then the perpetrator would know, and then worse can happen.
Yeah, I think what you said there is absolutely right. Having experienced some kind of situation like this, I can agree with your words, and especially what you said that in a dynamic like that, a power dynamic that is so intimate and so destructive, the two of you understand each other perfectly. And as you say, if the perpetrator senses that you have indecision, they will play that against you.
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah. So you've written this amazing memoir. It will be released very soon in about 10 days. What's next for you? What's on your mind so close to publication date?
Yes, I am promoting my book. Fortunately for me, it's being well received. And I have become an advocate, as you mentioned. I will continue with that. And I'm also planning on starting a coaching practice so that I can help them make a roadmap as to how to escape.
Mm,
And people who have already escaped and they do not know how to take the next step in life, I
yes.
can talk to them too, because I did not stop after being a survivor. And I call myself actually a fighter. I don't even call myself a survivor because I fought for my freedom.
Mm,
And then how I thrived. So I kept taking steps. My journey never stopped, and it will never stop till my last day.
that's very inspiring, Kanchan. Thank you so much for speaking with us. Your book deserves to be read widely, and best of luck to you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much, Joel.